IVM.
Hey everybody, welcome to another week on the IVM Podcast Network. If you are not following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'd like to thank our sponsors this week, Paytm Money. As we head into week 4 of lockdown, we're doing our best to make sure that we maintain our schedules and try and get you as many of the podcasts that you're used to listening as we possibly can, but beg your indulgence if there are any slippages in schedules and times. With that, let's just get on with your show.
Hello, Ayushi.
Hi, Tash. How are you?
I'm very well. And listeners, welcome back to Agla Station Adulthood. Today is episode 35. Again, recording from various parts of the city.
Today is actually my 1 month in isolation.
Happy anniversary!
Thank you. Because we closed our offices, like we were doing that 50-50 policy for a week. But then when the government said that, let's shut it down, we closed our office. So 21st, I think, 21st or 20th was our last day. That was my last day going into office. After that, I've been legit home. So, yeah, we finished a month. Yay to me.
Yay to you. We also finished a month of our exercise program, Ayushi.
Oh my God. Yay to us.
Us, yes. And our friends who are part of it, Ria and Ananya, shout out to us, guys. I just want to discuss the benefits of group motivation, which I was lacking up until this group workout came into my life. And I have worked out more in this lockdown than I have in my whole life, I feel.
Because I think this is the one month where consistently we've worked out a minimum of 4 or 5 times a week.
Yeah.
Because we've been doing the thrice a week, which we have to do with the program. And then we've also been doing an additional 2 days at least. So I think we've been minimum 5 days a week for the last month.
Good job, Ayushi. I am patting you and me on the back.
Same. Though I will just correct you. You said group motivation. I won't correct you. Sorry. I'll add. I see it more as group bullying. Like it's
I have to say Ria, who's our trainer, our best friend who doubles up as a trainer, she's a teacher also. So wo teacher wali energy aa hi jati hai.
Exactly.
And she's like, come on, are you ready? Let's go. And I'm like, I'm not ready.
But she doesn't let us
slack off,
which is very annoying at the start of the workout. But at the end of it, I'm kind of like so thankful.
I have a shrine for Ria in my home now.
Yeah.
I pray for a photo every day.
I'm worried that like when we all go back to work, I'm not going to be able to do it without her.
Oh no, see, so now we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, Ayushi. There's still some time.
Okay, but I think this workout is a good way to explain what our topic is and why. Because we have slightly... Tash and I are struggling with getting proper topics. So if you have, please let us know. But something that we talk about patience is because we finished 1 month and essentially it's a 3-month program, right? So we finished 1 month and we had taken some pictures of like our body when we were starting out.
Hey guys, we'll be honest. We want to do before and after.
Yes.
We are here for that. हमें भी transformation दिखाना है एक दूसरे को.
Exactly. So even if we don't share it publicly, like we want to be able to have those before and after pics for ourselves. So we took the before pics and we're 1 month in, and I'm not going to lie, I straight up looked at the mirror and I was like, I am not seeing changes and I'm upset.
Yeah.
And I got really mad and I was a bit discouraged. So this week, which was week 5, I did find the workout harder, not from a physical standpoint, but from the mental standpoint of what is the point? Like, I'm not seeing the results I want to see.
Yeah.
And so what is the point? And Tash brought up a really good thing, which was patience. And which is why I think we're going to discuss it today on a larger scale, not just because I am impatient, but in general.
But yeah, patience is our topic for the day. And it's one of those words which you've heard being used ever since you were a kid, like patience, you have to be patient, sabr ka phal meetha hota hai. All of these.
Patience is a virtue.
Yeah. Exactly. And like I remember like as kids we used to hear this word all the time. There were so many stories where the moral of the story was also patience. तो मतलब बहुत चर्चे में रहा है ये P word बचपन से. So we thought, why not like take a look at it now? What does it mean to us and what is going on and what's the deal? What's the lowdown? So Ayushi obviously went into some rabbit hole of research. And
Okay, because as Tash put it very nicely, doing the research was easier than thinking of a new topic.
yeah, Bunny, but I was, yesterday when I told you let's do patience, I thought it's actually a good topic. And then you were like thanda about it. But look at you today, you've come back with so much interesting info.
I was thanda about it, I'll be honest, because I was a bit tired of discussing this lockdown. And I thought the patience was more related to the lockdown
No, no,
in
no, no,
terms
no,
of,
no.
but it is true though, Tash, if you think about it, this is the time when your patience is being tested. Your
Yes.
patience with a lot of things, like patience with people, patience with yourself, with your body,
Yes.
with your work,
Yes.
with technology, with the Wi-Fi, all of that. It's like it's constantly being tested.
Yeah.
And so my thing was that I currently am having a battle with patience. So I won't want to discuss it. But you're right. Once I did some research, I realized that there's a lot of different aspects to this topic in terms of discussion. So we can definitely get into it. So I went into a little bit of patience and researching patience. And I was trying to find something a little bit different from that mummy logic of patience as virtue. Because I think there are more than enough stories and like, what are they called? Fables.
Moral science lessons.
Yeah, moral science fables, where you know that if you do the work, hang tight, keep your head down, and like work in a timely fashion, you will see results. But I wanted to look at it in terms of slowness, because while I was researching, I obviously came across the entire concept of the slow movement. Now, I'm sure people are aware of it, but in case you're not, slow, literally like SLOW. It's an interesting story. There was this guy, Carlo Petrini, in Italy, who was part of the protests. That when they protested against a McDonald's opening near the Spanish Steps in Rome. So this was, I mean, it was in the late 1990s, if I'm not mistaken, or the 80s or something. I think 80s. I should have looked at the date. I'm sorry.
They were protesting against McDonald's.
Right. And this was in the 1980s, sorry. When there was actually, it was a whole campaign against McDonald's opening near the Spanish Steps, and in general McDonald's, because in Rome, as you know, these Italians and their love for pasta, pizza, all of these things.
Their culture,
right,
their food.
Because food is such a huge part of the culture. And it's a huge part of their tourism and their identity, their national identity. So,
as a very small side note, no, actually forget it. Chal, aage badhte.
Oh, keep a note. We can get back to it later.
No, it's just part of the Italian culture and food thing. Because like I told you, I watched the Godfather trilogy. Like literally, all the scenes happen around food.
Yeah. Food is actually a huge part of even that movie series. Like that franchise, they talk about like the spaghetti and the like that whole communal meal aspect. But so it does connect to this. And he was really pissed off, essentially. And he, one of the tactics he also did was like handing out plates of pasta to the people in and around the Spanish Steps. And because it's such a huge tourist landmark. So McDonald's obviously wanted to capitalize on that. Now, this slow food movement that he was going through kind of had like offshoots in terms of slow living. But slow food specifically kind of focused on like regional produce, traditional food, organic food. And something that really I enjoyed was, and related to, was that food should be enjoyed in the company of others.
Yeah.
So the entire concept was again taking it back to looking as to why the food on your plate is there, right? So I always talk about this from a labor perspective because that's my job. But something that's very interesting is you have to talk about it from the point of like history as well, and legacy, and how much has gone into the kind of origin of your food. Like, why is pasta the way it is? Why is it that you make pesto this way? Why is it that you do? So Italians have that connection with it, which I think even Indians do, if I'm being very honest.
Yeah. We're similar in that way,
Yes.
Indian food culture.
This slow food movement obviously has kind of snowballed into something which is just called like slow living, and there's slow ways of approaching every single thing in life. And obviously it went forth from there. And then I came across a lot of literature from this guy called Carl Honore. I hope I'm saying his name right. And he is...
How do you pronounce it? How do you spell it?
Honore, but there's a little... what is it? Thingy on the E.
Apostrophe. I mean, it's an accent.
Accent, yeah. So I'm assuming the stress is on the E. But anyway, he has these books and TED Talks and all of that, which is available. And if you have time right now, I would highly recommend watching one of them. And essentially it's called In Praise of Slow. Now, this is what I wanted to discuss with you, is that he talks about, obviously, when we say slow, I hope everyone understands we're not talking about actually doing things slowly, like at a glacial speed. You're talking about things like more doing things at the right speed.
Yeah.
And this comes from something that you've possibly heard a lot of us talk about, and it's common topic in our political climate and time right now, is that we're just in this rat race and we have to slow down. We have to take time to like smell the roses and, value where you are, live in the moment, value the present, all of these things. So I think the slow living, what I found in this was a nice happy medium between constantly you're on a search and journey for something. So you're constantly trying to keep moving, because being stationary means you're not going forward, which is like losing in a way. And the other opposite, where people just want to completely like give up that whole material aspect of life and less is more, and just live a very like aesthetic kind of life, which I don't relate to. I don't enjoy that, because I like things. I like money. Lord.
Yeah, same. I mean,
So let's discuss this, I think, this slow living.
Slow living. I think what you said is so true. It's not about like doing things slowly, it's about doing it at the right speed.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, I don't want to do the cliched thing of blaming technology and whatever, the industrial revolution. But somewhere through history, human behavior has changed big time. What used to be manual work to gather everything and to make everything happen, and we were more like hands-on, if you will, in our everyday lives. Everything took time because you had to do it yourself, or there was less easy ways to do it. And now, because everything is so easy, it happens faster. And the pressure, it's always about these words like hustle and rat race. And somewhere I think what it does is it shakes up and stirs up one's internal clock also. Like, I mean, one may not necessarily be feeling that kind of rat race energy from within, but also it's that same thing. No, you dip your toe into a pool of boiling water, you'll also get burnt. So if the water is, I mean, I don't know what this means, but like if the atmosphere is like
no,
that.
I fully understand. It's like if everyone around you is in the rat race, you're more likely to get pulled into it.
Exactly. Whereas now, I mean, sorry, where was I? Yeah, this just, I don't know. I don't personally agree uh, with this, because I have a thought here. You should just bear with me for one moment
No,
while
that's
I try
fine.
to string my words together. What happens when you slow down is when I think that is when one can be truly present, because a hustle bustle rat race sort of situation and that kind of mindset and that kind of energy will take us away from the present moment. And this thing you speak of to be truly alive and to look at the sky and look at the flowers and all of that and breathe the air, it can only happen in the present moment.
So I mean, look, what you're saying, there's a lot of value to it. And I think based on what you and I discussed as well, there are many times when we both feel like, oh, I wish you could just press pause for like 10 minutes and I could just gather my thoughts. And I think that is very reflective of what we're talking about, is that you just kind of get caught up in the race sometimes and you don't even realize that you're in it,
Yeah.
But what you were saying in terms of like this technology having changed us, or it being like a pivotal switch point for us in history, something that this Carl guy was writing about, and also their understanding, what I was telling you, is that humans have always had a love affair with efficiency and speed.
Of course.
And like, this is in a historical context, it's in an intellectual inquiry context. Like, why is it that we are because evolution is very genetic to us. It's in our DNA to constantly evolve and change and keep furthering ourselves, right?
Yeah.
There are people who see evolution as just like in terms of a procreation way, but no, it's also in terms of development. I would say you have to see it in terms of development as well. And so in a historical context, we've always wanted to be fast. We've always wanted to do the next thing. Where do we go next? Where do you find the next crop, the next meal? And whether it comes from that survival of the fittest or whether it's just from a human need to develop, I don't really know. I've not done enough research on that. Maybe it's like a combination of both. But we've always had this need, is what they've kind of posited, and I kind of agree with that. It's just that
I agree also.
Yeah, it's just that now it's kind of become detrimental to us. I don't think so far it was that detrimental, but now it has become detrimental to our mental health, to our physical health, to the environment health. Like the earth is unhealthy because we are moving too fast.
It's suffering because of us.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you.
And
yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, I wanted to share a quote with you, which I thought was interesting, but I can share it with you later.
No, say it now.
So Seth Godin, who I love and I follow his blog and all, he said that drip by drip isn't a crowd pleaser, but that's where the real change happens.
That's true. That's so true. And it's sad that drip by drip is what is going to take us to the change, whereas we have got here just by flow by flow.
Yeah, gallon by gallon.
We've opened the dam to get till here, and now obviously it's so tough to put the plug back in.
Absolutely. Yahi hua actually, Ayushi. I think we got ahead of ourselves before we realized what was happening.
Right. And so that is where this entire concept of slow moving and slow living and slow food and that patience part of it comes into it, I think, is that if you have patience with like the food on your plate, you might have patience with the people sitting at the table. And you might then have patience with the relationship that you have with that person. And then you might have patience with the life that you share with that person. In that, then you might, so like that, that ripple effect of when a pebble falls in a pond. I'm saying that when you start with something as small as what's on your plate, you might have patience then for a lot more in your life, which will in turn, I feel, make you more content. Does that make sense? Because you might just start like wanting less or wanting it at a slower speed.
I don't think that's what will happen. I think what will happen is you'll start appreciating what you have.
Yes. That makes more sense.
Will lead you to maybe wanting less.
Correct. Scratch what I said, guys. This makes more sense. No, but it's true, right? Like if you really start looking for the joy, the value, and the line of production of an item, you'll really value where it's come from, and you'll take better care of it, and you might nurture it and care for it more. So having said that, there is something else that they talk about also, is that since we have agreed that change is the only constant, guys.
My favorite quote of all time.
I know, but given that we've accepted that change is the only constant, and then the next thing that we've done as a world or as a society is say that, and if you want to hang on to this change train, you better speed up and you better hold on and you better keep going at the same speed, right? But it's really important to remember that the basic needs, and like I said, this is not like Maslow's needs.
Hierarchy of needs. Yeah. This is like
basic. These are like human needs of, say, the 21st century, which is like the need to be seen, the need to be appreciated, the need to belong, the need for nearness, for love, for care. All of that.
So these are the needs which happen once your physiological needs are taken.
Yes, of course.
Food, water, shelter, and sex.
Right.
Above that.
Right. So these are the new ones, right?
So these are not basic needs. These are the new age basic needs.
Fair. That's very fair. I'm sorry. These are the new. That's what I said, right? 21st century needs.
Yes, you're right. Wi-Fi. How can we forget?
Exactly. So but I'm talking about the human ones of this, like need to be seen, appreciated, and belong.
Yeah.
All of these things actually come from human relation. They don't come from anything else. And to really master human relation, you have to slow down and introspect it, and you have to recover slowness, togetherness, reflection, because that is what will create that renewal that you're looking for in those relationships. And I don't think I could find anything wrong with this. Usually I can look at an argument and be like, well, I don't think so. But this I agreed with, like, nothing beats putting in the time and effort into a human relationship for it to flourish. Like, there's just no two ways about it.
Agreed.
And
I mean, you left me stumped with that one.
No, not stumped, is because I was saying that this slowness thing, because I couldn't really relate to it in different aspects, right? Like the slowness of media, slowness of living, slowness of materialism. Those are things that I think as a 27, 28-year-old, it's not very in our wheelhouse to completely slow down and become like a sadhu type life. You know, it's not in my DNA right now.
Yeah.
And I enjoy my sort of my participation in the rat race. I do enjoy it because I like it. It's a part of me. It's like, it's caused my development, it's caused my growth and success. So I don't want to let go of this yet, you know. But this slow aspect of relationship development and patience with your interpersonal development, I really kind of related to that, because I think what we do now is very easily brush off interaction because it takes too much time to get into it. Like, I do it all the time, you know that. I'm just kind of like, okay, it, man, like, it's done, it's finished now, move on.
Same, yeah.
But I think if you use patience as, like, in that way, it may not be that annoying lesson that your mom told you, but it might actually help you create that connection that you're looking for in life, whether it's with a partner or a friend or a pet or a parent, whatever it is. I think here patience is super, super key. I don't know.
It's that whole thing, you know, if like the age-old quotes, there are two most powerful warriors are patience and time.
Oh, I did
So,
not knew this one.
Devs, you know me, I'm a pitara of cliches.
You are basically like, you know, Goodreads and quote of the day.
Let me find this. Do you want me to actually get some? Nah. It was Leo Tolstoy who said it. No wonder. It's such a nice quote, though. The two most powerful warriors are patience and time.
But that is true. And I kind of...
And I mean, you need both of those to read his books. So.
Oh my God. If we were together in the studio right now,
we would be high-fiving like badgers.
We would be losing it. You truly need a lot of patience and time to read Tolstoy. And hats off to you, man, if you managed it in the first sitting. My compliment.
So what a guy. He clearly knows what he's talking about in terms of patience and time, at least, I think, you know?
And
yeah.
But it's one of the... No, and actually going back to these older like literature from that generation, suppose if you were to read like even if you took something like Pride and Prejudice, which I have to say is one of my favorite books ever, or Little Women, or actually I didn't love Little Women, whatever, all the classics. They were able to create 500 pages of content because they just slowed the down.
Yeah. No, that's so true, Ayushi.
It was so slow. Everything is so slow in that time. Their interactions, the courtship, the dinner,
Correct.
the meeting, the writing to each other, that whole, where you might say that it was so, maybe it was shallow, they didn't know each other so well, and it was so like tedious as a process, and it was not feminist, and it was very sexist. Yeah, that's all true. That's 100% true.
We are not talking about that today. That is a different
Don't come for me on this. I'm just...
Yes, we are simply talking about how much time used to pass in these.
Yes, because they had very less things to do also. But I think that's...
They were not getting notifications from Instagram and Twitter and Snapchat and whatnot. No.
And in this patience and this slowness, one thing that I think what we've... Now, I don't know, because as someone who has been on dating apps and enjoyed it from time to time and has met interesting people, the other aspect is also this, like a slow, organic way of meeting people and having the patience that life will bring you the right people at the right time. We've kind of put that on the back burner, right? Like, if I was to just truly believe that, okay, if I, in my search for a partner and in my search for romantic or that interpersonal fulfillment, I should just be open to the world. And whoever comes to me and what I find in that way is the right path. That's the organic way that life is planned, right? Instead, what I've done is like, yeah, but that's been taking too fucking long, So I'm just going to see who's in my area.
Yeah.
And it's for free.
Literally. I love it.
So I'm saying maybe like for me personally, this patience topic and like the lesson here to me is like, I want to use it in this part of my life, of my relationships.
Human relationships.
Yeah, like with my friends, parents, and even this romantic thing of being very patient. Like when people don't reply for a day, I'm also like, now I will not reply for 2 days. Then that's on you. You did this to yourself.
Lol.
But I think that's where I need to learn that patience. You have to put in the time and the effort to get something out of it as well. I don't know. That's my.
I wholeheartedly agree with you because you like honestly, Ayushi, it's like there's no easy way. I mean, there is the only easiest way to say this is everything does take time.
Yeah.
It's not like relationships are not Maggie 2-minute noodle.
It's true.
You put it in the boiling water, it's going to be ready with the masala. These things take a lot of time. Like people spend their entire marriages and they are still learning about their partners at the end of those 30 years.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, let's get into a break, shall we? Let our listeners also ponder on this patience and relationships thing.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Sorry, my bad. We'll be back.
Yeah, we'll see you on the other side.
Hi, I'm Satyajit.
Hi, I'm Racheta.
We are from the Open Library Project and we host a podcast called Paperback.
Paperback is a podcast where we engage with stalwarts and experts from various industries, suggesting non-fiction titles that contributed to their journey in a big way.
We've had guests like Anjali Raina, Dr. Marcus Rani, Dr. Swati Lodha, Ambi Parmeswaran, Apurva Damani, and many more on our show Paperback. Find new episodes every Wednesday on IVM Podcast app, website, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
And welcome back to Agla Station Adulthood. This is Rytasha.
And I am Ayushi. Hi.
Today, Ayushi and I are discussing a virtue called patience.
And
sorry, I will speak correctly.
No. And patience and like slowness. I think that's also one thing, like just slowing down a little bit.
Yeah, we are just talking about not being in a bhagdad, for lack of a better word. I love the word bhagdad, by the way, because I feel like it's really onomatopoeic.
I've just learned it right now from you.
Yeah, bhagdad. It's like...
But it sounds like the rush for a train. Yeah. Like there's a lot of bhag and dhad happening around me. Like I can feel the noise. You're right. The onomatopoeia here is very, very great.
Correct. Okay. So welcome back. Ayushi and I are discussing slowness, patience, time that it takes to actually see real change. And of course, Ayushi has provided some good research, but I have come here with the bumper sticker truck and I'll be sharing some quotes with you all. And Ayushi, I would like to, should we play the game reverse now where I tell you the quote, you try to guess who said it?
Okay, but I'll be really bad at this because I don't read quotes, but go ahead.
Even I don't know. You try to say I sit and read quotes all the time.
No, but like, I swear you know more than I do. That's all. Okay, let's go for it. You say it.
I'm just going to read. I'm going to read you a Chinese proverb now. Okay?
Oh, great.
It says, one moment of patience may ward off great disaster. One moment of impatience may ruin a whole life.
I'm going to go ahead and say that this wasn't wow, but was it like the like Buddha?
It's just a Chinese proverb. I don't know who said it, Ayushi. It says Chinese proverb.
Okay, well...
It must be Confucius.
Confucius.
Okay, and now Confucius said, now second quote from one of my favorites, Mr. George Bernard Shaw, says, 2 things define you. Your patience when you have nothing and your attitude when you have everything. It's a good one. What are your thoughts?
I think this was George Bernard Shaw.
I said that before I read you the quote, Ayushi.
I'm doing musty with you.
I love it. I love this musty core, Ayushi. Okay.
I miss you.
Now, the third quote. Patience, persistence, and perspiration make an unbeatable combination for success.
Was this Adit Zaveri?
You know what it could be, but it's not. It's a guy called Napoleon Hill,
Oh,
who's an American author, not to be confused with Mr. Bonaparte.
I was about to say. Also, who in their right mind as a parent would name their child Napoleon after knowing?
मुझे नहीं पता यार, really.
Like, it's like naming your child Adolf. Now, it's not, it's just, it could be a name of a good person, but like it isn't. So, why would you do it?
History has proved otherwise. So, Mr. and Mrs. Hill, you should have thought of a better name for your kid.
They should have named him Strawberry.
Strawberry Hill. I love it.
I like it. I'm so cute. Okay.
Yeah.
These are.
Then my last quote
Yes.
I want to share with.
Go ahead.
No, actually, it was damn dumb. No, it's not at all.
No, now I want to know how dumb it is.
No, Ayushi, you really will like judge me. I'll share it with you off air. And also, like, it's kind of one of those like sappy ones which seems interesting and intelligent, but actually it's really
You
not.
know, those are my worst favorite. It's like those think pieces of like people who tell you to stop doing things because they're just like, live life free, live life like once, YOLO. I hate them.
But this one is actually, I found the last one which I want to share. Actually, it's not a bad one. It's just like a decent one. It's like, yeah, it makes sense. Never make your most important decisions when you are in your worst moods. Wait,
Yeah.
be patient. The storm will pass and the spring will come.
It's like never go to the grocery store when you're
So I think
hungry.
it's good advice, sound advice. Absolutely, it's exactly the same logic. And never listen to a waterfall when you need to pee.
Now we are just making up our own ones. I like it. But
Never brush your hair when you have to do jhadu.
oh my God, that's
When you
very
just
real.
jhadu.
That's so real. But like this is all accumulating into the same thing, whether it's written in a way that we like or not. It kind of relates to what we've been talking about so far, and what I think you've through a lot of years of our friendship have also tried to tell me, which maybe I have not always listened, which is you have to slow down and give people a chance. You have to give them many chances. You have to let them grow on you. You have to let them explore and become themselves in front of you. Like so often we've met people that we've quote unquote, let's say worked with. Okay. Like we've interacted with and worked with. And I, in the first 3 interactions have been like, this person is just not working because there is XYZ wrong with them. They're just not able to keep up with this and not able to understand me in this way. They're not able to, and I don't want to do it anymore. And what you've done is you've always been like, no, you're right. This is a little problematic. But maybe this person just needs a little more time to find their groove. Maybe this person just needs a little bit more space. Maybe we are crowding them. Like this is not their style. This is not. And I would say like 3 out of 5 times I've taken it back later and been like, you were right, by the way, this person turned out to be like great. I really enjoy their company. I enjoy their work. And that I think is all about giving, like having patience and letting people become themselves in front of you without demanding for them to be a version that you are okay with.
Yeah, so one thing I've noticed about myself is Ayushi, मैं professionally तो खूब ज्ञान दे देती हूँ and I'm quite patient when it comes to work because sadly or whatever, fortunately or unfortunately, my profession has taught me patience and it continues every fucking day of my life.
Yeah.
It's like a long waiting game. But in my personal life, I mean, I have to say I'm pretty impatient. Maybe that's my balancing technique, you know. But yeah, I agree with you.
Obviously, as it goes with any of our episodes and anything we've always said, I don't think either of us embody 100% of any of the values and virtues we talk about. Lord.
Yeah, never. But this patience, though, really, it's something I try to work on. And in work life, it's happened quite naturally because
yes, you have though. You have evolved as a professional with this patience aspect a lot, though.
Yeah.
Like I get mad on your behalf a lot more than you get mad.
Because, babe, now let me talk to you like this. Okay, for a second. Hamare normal dunya mein, you're just like used to like your whole life you've met like cool people, smart people, wonderful people, got along with them. Life's good, no?
Yeah.
But when you become an adult and you see the real world and you see real life, so many factors come into play, and not everybody can be on your same page. And it's not their fault. And we need to cut people slack also, I guess.
Yes, and And when it comes to giving these people a chance and all, I also think it's a lot to do with projection, right? Like we project our version of efficiency, our version of coolness, our version of getting it right, quote unquote, onto them. And if they don't fill and fulfill that box in the same way that we see it, you automatically dismiss the person. Or not you, I have to say, I take responsibility. I automatically dismiss the person. And
yeah, so I think dismissing people is not something I enjoy doing.
yeah, and I have to say that you've helped me see the value in it and to see like the error of my ways. You are impatient in your personal life, lol. But like you said, I think there's a balance. I don't think you could do it so perfectly and be patient with every single person, because then the opposite happens, is that you just keep waiting for people to become better versions of themselves and you get stuck having to go on that journey with them, which I also feel is the other drawback here, is that sometimes you also have to know when to step back from this patience game and stop waiting. Like,
yeah, and you step on the accelerator, you just like
yeah, I think we should talk about that as well, is that sometimes you can be patient with someone, but if that is starting to affect who you become,
yeah,
I don't know, how do you effectively say this? Like, how do you say this in a better way?
Yeah, I know. See, I understand what you're trying to say, but I don't think it can be like a blanket statement like that.
I guess. I guess all I'm trying to say is that that judgment will come with time of knowing which battle is worth waiting for and not.
Yeah. True that.
And that comes only, like you said, the warriors are time and patience, right? So that time will teach you, and you'll build that sort of self-assurity and confidence to know that this is something that this person requires my time and effort, and this person doesn't require my time and effort.
Yeah, and also, experience teaches you. Life will only teach you. Like, we have to be tuned into it.
What do you mean?
Oh my God.
What do you mean you have to be tuned into it? It means I didn't understand.
Like, it's coming back to what I've been saying every time. There's a lesson to be learned everywhere if you look for it. Buying groceries, for example, in this time.
Right.
You waited in line for 1.5 hours.
Oh, God.
It pissed you off. You carried that burden through the day, Ayushi. I want you to think about that day.
I carried it up the slope also.
I know, love. And you were angry and upset and pissed off for pretty much the whole day because your first half was so bajawed by that experience, right?
Yeah.
So essentially, we let that hijack our happiness for the rest of the day. And we all do this, you, me, and everyone listening. I mean, one bad experience might happen, which things may not go according to your level of efficiency and smoothness and what you expect.
Yeah.
And what often happens is we allow that to totally take over. And, when that happens, it fucks up your energies to do any other activity also. And a small example I want to give our listeners is when I've started to make roti as of like 5 days ago. And if I am in a bit of a hardbad, like I'm like trying to make the roti and I'm a little frustrated and I'm trying to do it quickly and all of that, these rotis are getting Here I was like, okay, you know what, Ritz, breathe in, breathe out, aaram se banao. Just chill and do it peacefully, patiently. It will happen. My rotis are fucking following, Ayushi.
But you're absolutely right. I could not agree with you more. When you do something calmly and when you're doing things really fast, you obviously botch it up every single time. And that's why acts like baking and doing things that require this long process, there's a lot of lessons to be learned that if you do slow and steady and take your time, like if you take the cake out too soon, it's not going to be cake, right? You have to let it take its time. And that's like a metaphor, I think, for a lot of activities. And you're right, that day that I had to do all of that, it ruined my mood. And I was so upset. Even that day that we had to work out, I was just like, I can't do it. It's just too much. But I'm so upset that it robbed me of that day's joy. You're right.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I don't like it when that happens to all of any of us.
Yeah, and it's not right because you have, if you think about it in a larger existential way, you have X amount of days, right? So you should, in whatever way, you have to maximize the joy factor in all of them. All of them are not going to be 100% joyful, of course. But when you allow something so external to steal your joy, it's like you've given it away to the joy stealer. You've been like, here, take it and go.
Yeah, literally. That's what you've done, man. That's not cool. That's not
And that's
cool.
not good. Yeah. So, I mean, it's obviously easier said than done. Like, it's not easy to keep your patience. It's not easy to keep your cool. And going back to what you said earlier, our triggers now in terms of technology and our evolvement, like evolution, have become so much more. Like, the annoyance factor is a lot more now. So many opportunities for you to get constantly irritated.
Tell me about it, Ayushi. Anyway, opening any kind of social media thing can like literally like spark annoyance in like a millisecond.
And if
In
we're
me.
being honest with our listeners, I think sometimes it's such silly things as well. Like when I see someone, if I've opened Instagram, for example, this happened to me yesterday, and I know that this is shallow and vapid, but I'm sharing it with you guys because I think like owning up to you guys is kind of like my confessional.
Yes.
It's like I opened Instagram yesterday and I saw that someone had posted something, and it was so similar to a picture that I had taken also. Okay. And I thought like, oh, I'll share this because it's such a lovely picture. It made me feel all these things. And this person had posted, and the caption and the editing, the style, whatever, was very similar to what I would have put out there myself. And you know, the first thing that happened was that I got mad that someone had beat me to it. As if that there is some sort of cap on content. And what is so frustrating, if I had just seen that picture, and I saw the similarities in it, my reaction should have been, oh my goodness, this is beautiful. And I'm so glad that somebody else saw the same fucking beauty in this very, very mundane thing. And look at how nicely they've shared it. And that should have been my reaction. I should have seen that picture and been like, yes, there are more people out there who think the way that I think. That's a glorious feeling.
It's a gift. Yeah.
But I just got mad that somebody beat me to it.
Yeah, because I mean, it's that race thing that's been put inside us.
Yes, and it's so stupid because this game is priceless. First of all, it's
oh my God, thank you for saying that. Yeah, there are no winners.
There are no winners in this. Like social media and all of these things. Maybe that's a lesson that I want like this episode to have, and even to myself. I just want to say there is no winner in more followers. There's no winner in having the snarkier reply. There is no winner in having the better post. There isn't. There's just you and what you want to put out there. And if that makes you happy, so be it. And I'm so mad at myself for doing that yesterday. I was so disappointed in myself.
I also had a very similar experience, which I even told you that day. Like this thing of like checking views, or like how many views have I got on this in comparison to maybe someone else. And you're like, ew, why are you doing this? Why comparing? Just stop it. And you who are educated and intelligent and woke and so evolved, and how can you be doing this, Rytasha? And then you get mad at yourself for even thinking this and feeling this. And it's just that you realize it's that energy, it's that fucking hot boiling pool that you have put your toe in.
Yes, and the thing is that no one is better or worse for putting their toe in it. Like it happens to all of us. Like I don't think that you should beat yourself up for too long, because it's natural, it's normal. Like both of us are admitting how stupid we have been in the past. But I think it's more like you have to catch yourself and be like, see, you're being very, very silly now. All you have to do is like take that deep breath and be like, yo, there is space for all of us. There is space for everything. There is enough. There is just enough. There is abundance. You must remember. And I think this is from like getting the groceries, buying like 1 kilo more because you're like, what if I don't get that other kilo?
Yeah.
Whether it's about getting that likes or whether it's about getting that job, whatever it is, I think this whole patience exercise in general is kind of like there is abundance in the universe, in yourself, in your relationship. You just have to take that time to find it, you know? And that taking time thing is that patience game. I think so, you know?
I'm gonna cry. You're talking about all this universe and abundance and all these wonderful things. You know me, I love all this.
I know. Who am I becoming? I'm becoming better. I think I'm evolving. It's a good thing.
And what you said about breathing, Ayushi, I just wanna again bring us back to the most basic function of our body. That is to breathe. And
it's magic.
It's fucking magic. I can't endorse breathing in yaar. I mean, I can't endorse it more. I mean, I would like to be the brand ambassador for breath.
What you're saying is you want to be the brand ambassador for life.
For life, yes. Patience and presence, and it's all connected to your breath.
My dad,
Even if you just
my dad used to tell us when we were younger and we couldn't, like if we played catch and we couldn't catch the ball. And we used to, because the minute he threw the ball, we'd start running. We're like, oh, I gotta catch it. Like, insane children with just a lot of energy. And his first thing would be like, no, you're doing this all wrong. You have to stay where you are. You have to follow the ball with your eyes. If you watch the ball, you'll know where to be. You are just seeing the ball leave my hand and running like a lunatic. And since
I love this story, Ayushi, because it can apply to life.
Yes, and since then, I swear to God, my brother and I, whenever we're playing catch or volleyball, whatever it is, the first voice you hear is like, watch the ball. But that's in life, is like you have to watch the ball, and instead of watching the person who's releasing the ball, because that, I think, is what we keep doing is this Instagram post. I should have just seen the post for what it was. I shouldn't have seen it as, oh my God, that person let the post out of their Instagram first.
Yeah.
You and that view of that, your video versus someone else's video. You just have to see the video. You have to see that, look, what I did was this, and what that other person did was, it doesn't matter where it came from. What is it now?
Yeah.
And I think this is something that is a lesson I need to personally work on a lot more, and I'm going to. But it's something that I think your breathing thing is like, you're kind of keyed in. I think you're a couple steps ahead of us. I think it's good.
Girl, it's all about breathing.
Rytasha wants to do a whole episode on breathing, and I've been saying no.
Ayushi, I could talk about breathing for hours on end.
If you guys want to do it, want to listen to
it. But on that note, can we do one quick breathing exercise as a parting gift to maybe stay present?
You can lead it. You can tell us how you do it. Like, yeah, sure. Go ahead. You do it. I'll follow.
Okay, fine. We're going to breathe in and out in a count of 8. So, no, 10, sorry. We breathe in for the first 4 counts. We hold count. Sorry, yaar. And then we breathe out, okay? So, inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 3 counts. 5, 6, 7. Exhale 8, 9, 10. It's very badly demonstrated. Now I will do it and show you.
Okay, so inhale. I'll do it too, right?
Yeah, you do it. Okay, inhale. Hold for 2, 3 counts. Exhale. And that's it. Anytime you feel the hassle, the hustle, the stress, the rat race, breathe in, hold for 3 counts, breathe out.
That's good. This is nice. I've ended this very peacefully. Also, by the way, a lot of those WhatsApp forwards for coronavirus say that if you can hold your breath for 20 seconds means you don't have.
I just love WhatsApp.
Okay, I like this episode. I think this was fun. Thank you for the topic, Dash.
You're welcome, Ayushi. Thank you for your research and for Petrini and Carlo and Honore and all these cool guys. Honore?
Yeah.
And Carlo Petrini.
Yes. And I think it's cool to read their stories as well. And
remember, guys, time and patience are the 2 most powerful warriors
when reading Tolstoy.
Okay, thank you all for listening. I think we've had a fun episode, Ayu.
Yeah, I've liked it. I've enjoyed it. That's my email calling me back.
I can hear it.
I'm sorry. Sure. I'm going to go back to my rat race, but I will breathe and I will see you tonight for our workout.
Okay, friends, listeners, keep in touch. Send us your thoughts, and we hope you're well during lockdown. We love you all.
Bye, guys. Stay safe.
Bye.
Filter coffee is a fascinating beverage. You need to pick the right beans, blend them in the right proportion, roast them to perfection, and slow brew at the right temperature to get the perfect cup. Which is exactly like great conversations as well. You need to track down the most interesting minds, get them into their zone, and settle down for an unhurried, unscripted chat. And coffee for me is always best enjoyed with friends. I'm Karthik Nagarajan, and do share my table as I meet some of the most interesting people I know and sit them down for a strong cup of coffee and an even stronger conversation. Join me every Wednesday for a freshly brewed episode. This is not frappe. This is the Filter Coffee Podcast.
Look! Up in the internet! It's a meme! No! It's a cat video! No! It's the Geek Fruit Podcast!
That's right, we interrupt this riveting broadcast to tell you about our show, the Geek Fruit Podcast, where Tejas, Dinkar and I, Jishnu, talk about everything in pop culture, including DC, Marvel, Star Wars, Netflix, and everything in between.
You know how your friends hate it when you ramble about some nerdy crap and you just want somebody to listen to you? Well, sorry, there's nothing we can do about that, but come listen to us ramble and it'll almost be like the real thing. Kind of.
Listen to new episodes of the Geek Fruit Podcast every Monday and the Geek Fruit Bulletin every Thursday on iTunes, Google Podcasts, the IVM app, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Happy listening, you nerds.